Now we are going to look at resources connected to the specific IABs that we either have given and need to reteach, or want to give and want resources directly connected to that. Once again, you've either bookmarked the Sears platform or you can get there through your TOMS platform. And I'm going to continue using the high school as my exemplar or my model. And I'm going to choose a different assessment. Let's look at this one here. For no particular reason, I just want to see something different. So here we have 25 students that took this assessment and a summary of how the students did. Once again, if I show results, I can look at it by student, I can look at it by item. And if you're wondering what the key distractor is, if you click on there, it shows you the percentage of students that chose the different responses. So this allows you to, once again, go in, look at the item, and see, oh, 40% of the students chose A, 24 chose B, 20% chose C, chose correctly, and then 16% chose D. So it allows you to narrow down. You've got 80% of the students chose something different, but what is it that may have distracted them and have them chose that? So that's just in case you were wondering what the key distractor was. But this video is about instructional resources, so let me get back to that. Once you open up the assessment, you'll see this little button here that says Instructional Resources. If you click on that, it's going to open up this little menu that tells you, it's a link to your tools for teachers, and it tells you this is where I'm going to take you. I'm going to take you to instructional resources for this FIAB. If you click on there, instead of logging into tools for teachers and seeking this out, the system automatically takes you there. It bounces you to this first page where, once again, reiterates this is what this is. It shows you a progression of, if your students are in these different categories, this is how you would want to address what they need to be doing. Over here we can see that it has future resources for these particular areas, but it does have these two here that you can already start using. It also has the same resources that are listed here on this little playlist here. Again, it gives you the claim, the target, and the individual standards that will be assessed. You can continue to scroll down, and it gives you suggestions for intervention for students that are significantly below, things to think about, and this is additional information on IABs in particular. So if you haven't looked at these resources, look at those when you have a moment. But the resources that are connected here, and I'll talk about this in a separate video, if you go here and you click on that, it opens up for you an actual lesson that you can do. So this is an actual lesson that you can do with your students, and it walks you through step by step your entrance ticket here, the resources that you would use, the strategies that you might employ, how you would roll this out in your classroom. And again, you can do any of this, and here are the resources that are identified. Anything that says this little link and the little emblem is always going to be listed for you down here. Strategies, things to consider again for the lesson, So it just gives you an entire lesson that you can implement in your classroom, whether you are doing small group instruction, whether you are doing whole group direct instruction. You would simply need to decide how it is that you want to use this resource. If you are using stations, if you will, in your classroom, not necessarily where you have your kids moving around, but where you're chunking your instructional minutes into 20 or 30 minutes per activity, this is maybe something that you can do within one of those 20 or 30 minute segments, depending on what the lesson calls for. Regardless, this gives you resources for any and every. Let me switch schools here. If I'm looking at the middle school, I'm going to go with 5th grade. And I'm going to look at math base 10. Same thing, show results, instructional resources. Boom, it's going to take me to number and operations in base 10. Same thing. The continuum of instruction here, all the resources that have been listed are also listed down here at the bottom. These are actual lessons that you can then, again, implement from start to finish. Everything's already there for you. Everything is outlined. All your interventions are suggested. So take a look at these resources without having to hunt through the Tools for Teachers platforms. Simply go back to the assessments that you gave and pull the resources that are provided there for you. I hope this was helpful. Thank you very much.